Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we do
traders, and
welcome to the live analysis Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. This is forward-looking live analysis. So let me explain very quickly what our education is about here. For those of you new to Bookmap here in our events, etc. And I want to show you a new education page I think you guys will really like. So we have an educational course. It's online. All our education here is free and open to all. This is kind of a new thing. And then we have these live events to follow up to the education. Okay, Bookmap is a platform, not a trading strategy. So this is why we have these live forward-looking analysis events here to go through the education in the live market and apply it to the live market. We do it Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. We go through it in detail so you can apply what you've learned, and this can apply to any different kind of trading methodology. That is the key. Many people or everyone trades differently. Okay, so therefore we're going to cover many different ways of trading and looking at and reading the order flow in the live market. Then we have specific traders, J Trader, a stocks trader, Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then Scott Pulcini, futures trader, Thursdays at 10 a.m. They're going to go through their very specific ways of trading, and they will be trading live. Now we also have Tom B. He comes in after this webinar at 11:30 East Coast time, and he'll go for about 4 hours in there, 4.5 hours or so until the close. And he's a volume profile trader. Okay, now he will not be trading live like J Trader and Scott, but he will be going through live forward-looking analysis just like I do Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Right, so very robust education, all free. Here, this is a really nice thing for you traders out there. Let's go through some disclosures and we'll jump right in here. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a quick look and see what's going on in this S&P. We've traded up to 4,000. Look at that, back to 4,000 just now. Let's zoom out here. Let's take a look at, do a quick reading of the order flow, but we got to look at the bigger picture. Okay, we want to look at the bigger, higher time frame market structure. This is critical. Then we're going to zoom down into more kind of nuances in the order flow to give us understanding to where price might be going. All right, so all right, let's take a look here at what's happening right now. Well, they're still going higher here, and looking for 05 next. Okay, so I'm a little leery about this, but order flow is telling us so far it looks like it wants to go to 05. Right, here's why. We see the trading up here. It has not made a higher high yet. It's just shy of it. So that's one kind of element that's not for this going higher. But we are seeing volume on the buy side here. These green dots, market buy orders, trading up here. Okay, so that's good. We want to see it come up a little bit higher, and then we're looking for our breakout. So we're looking for exhaustion here around, and we're not getting it. You can see the selling coming in. So it looks like they're actually going to try to take it down to 97, maybe 95 here. Let's see, and let's see if this is a false breakdown, and it comes back in the middle of the range, okay, or is it going to continue with the breakdown? Okay, well, we're getting our answer here. We're right back into the range here. Okay, so again, now I'm looking for 04 and 05 here to trade. We just need to see a little bit more above the point of control here. Let's see it, buyers. Okay, looking for buyers. Okay, back up to here. point of control, just, and of this range, just the most traded, level in the range. Okay, where are the transactions taking place? Well, they're right in the middle here, basically. Okay, you see the distribution here. Yeah, they can't do it. So yeah, so here is the last stand for these buyers. If they can get through here, they got it. Right, we're going to come up to the top of the range and further. They couldn't do it, then the sellers come back in here in this case. All right, so so that's how this kind of a little tricky. I mean, this is actually pretty much textbook, to be honest. This is exactly what it looks like. Here's our false breakdown. Here's the move back in the range, back to point of control, back to high liquidity in here, and it tries to get through and it can't. Still, I was still giving these guys a chance here, looking for them to maybe bounce off of here and get back up here. They couldn't. Let's see if they may do it again. Let's see if they can do it now. Okay, we just saw the breakdown here, a stop run. Here they come again. All right, so right here, 01, there they are. And let's see them move it. Okay, we're looking for 04 and 05 here. Okay, there we go. All right, maybe 08, maybe 10 as well. Okay, that was a little tricky here. We had to break down all the way down here and then look for this to follow through. Okay, now we're at the top of the range here, and now we're looking for, we got to pull back here, still looking for more buyers up here. Okay, looking for a retest back up here to this kind of 03, and then looking for 04 and 05. And this is our under over line right here. Just around 4,000, right at 4,000. Okay, this is where there's liquidity here. Come on, buyers, let's see it. Let's see, you can get right back up here, 02, and then we're looking for our breakout here. Not a lot of buying up there at all. This is not what we're looking for. And they couldn't even make a higher high here. So not looking good actually at the moment. Let's see if we need to get the buyers back up here around 02. There they are. Now let's look for the buyers and follow through 04, 05, and 09 and 10 here is really the nicer target back up here. Okay, looking for it and looking for our breakout now. Okay, there's 04. Looking for more than that here. There's a lot of buying in here, so I think they got it. Looking for our 09 and 10 level here as the target. Struggling up here. Maybe this is a higher, that's why we want to take a look at our higher time frame here. No, higher time frame, it looks pretty good. Let's look at a 15-minute chart here. No, it looks pretty good. We're still actually looking for it to come back, maybe back up into these ranges up here, 40, 35 or so. Nice gap here, beautiful gap in the morning. Our chart looks good. Everything looks good here. Looking for the continuation. In fact, 09 and 10, I'm looking for higher than that on this time on the hourly chart here in the middle. We're looking for like 18 up to 30 or up to like 44 or 45 basically, up into these wicks here before. Why here? This is where the wicks, this is rejection. This is where we found sellers, and this is where the sellers here took it down to the downside. So we're looking for buyers to retest it back up into these areas here to try to find more sellers. Okay, so that's the primary scenario here. Order flow wise, boy, it's trying, and then it just keeps coming back into the middle of the range here. And we're still looking for that to unfold here. This cluster not looking too good. Okay, this cluster looks good, as we noted. I don't see many buyers up here, so this is kind of tricky. If we can get back up here again though at 03 and we find our buyers, I think we got it. We got our breakout here. Okay, let's see in this little range in here. Let's see it. Buyers, there they are. All right, back to the top of this range here. See if they can pull that off. They cannot pull it off. All right, we're going to come back down here. It looks like 97. And maybe back down to the bottom of this range here. There's just, we're not getting them. We're not finding them. Boy, this is going to be a tricky session. I can already tell. All right, well, we got some high demand coming in here. Look at the order book here. Now, this is where we get a lot of insight. What is the reaction to this high demand? It didn't repel sellers, or our buyers. I'm sorry. So now it's starting to. Okay, so the order flow is dynamic. We're looking at a shift and change in here. So what's the reaction to this? This is the context that we always talk about. Okay, they found sellers. They took them on. All right, now can they follow through? Let's see if they come back down to 99 and follow through back down to 96 then. Okay, this is the event we're looking at here. The transactions into this 4,000. Now we're finding out buyers. Okay, guys, we're going to go to 10, our 8, our 10 here. This is really tricky stuff in here. Out of the blue, someone comes in and moves it. Okay, nice stop run as well. God, right, and sellers take it right back down. Interesting stuff here. On size, both are trading with size here. So a couple of bigger, looks like to me like a couple of bigger players battling out here. I'm still looking for this 08, 10, 20, 40, those areas we outlined. Tricky action here as we're waiting for this. One or the other. If you're going to follow through or not here, and we're not seeing it yet. God, this looked really good for the follow through. So did this over here. Okay, back up to 02. Let me get to some of your guys' questions here. Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Weak top. You're talking about the delay, and yeah, I know. There's a delay in the. This is the problem here. Like, we'd love to have this only in Discord. The issue though is that Discord only supports 50 people at a time per stream, per screen. And we kind of got around it by a hack of like having multiple people stream in here so you guys get access. It's better because it's a much more, it's real time. Whereas there's like a 2-second or so delay, I think, in YouTube. And it's done by design, so it kind of buffers. So if you have kind of a weird or bad connection in YouTube, it has something buffered. Yeah, it's going to be disruptive, but this is the way to handle it. It really is. There's no way around it. All right, guys, I still like the buy side. I'm still looking for these buyers up here in continuation. Let's see if they go for it here, looking for them. There they are, a little bit. Now let's see them. They should be able to do this. I think they've got the buying pressure, at least top of the range here, 05. And then we should get the breakout on this just because we have lots of buying up here, One more retest. I think there's an at this point, there's enough buying up here in order for it to break the range and explore higher. And you can see what happened. Sellers just came in and just stepped on it right back down in the middle of the range. And that's been it so far. Okay, all right, sellers take it all the way back down here, retest it. Jeez, really tricky in here. Bottom of the range, finding buyers back again. Point of control just moved up for me as well. All right, here come the buyers again. Let's see if they can do it here. Now, you know, you can see kind of what's happening in here. And once once we start to demo this, you know, we have the stops and icebergs in here. And let me turn that on, the main chart here, on chart. Because you're going to see all these stop runs to the, you know, at these extremes here. Yeah, there they are. So, you know, the market's probing, testing these areas here at the extremes, knocking out people, okay, and then coming to the other side and knocking them out, and then reversing, coming back to the other side. Someone's going to take control at some point here. I'm still looking for buyers. Here they go. Okay, enough buying here to at least make it back to 05 here. Just looking for that, 05. All right, now we've looked at this multiple times. There's enough buying up here to explore higher, and we've got some people in here that sold, especially here. We're looking for them to get stopped out up here, and I think we got enough momentum now to finally get to 09 and 10 here, looking for it. Okay, we're up at the top of the range, still finding buyers. You know, yeah, we're still looking for our primary scenario to play out. Okay, there's our stops, 107, 136. That is anticipated by this behavior on the other side of the range here. Okay. All right, there we are. And just about 09, looking for a nice move into 10. There it is. Beautiful. All right, good. Let's see it continue. This is looking good. There's a lot of built up kind of pressure in here, and looking for this to slingshot out of it up into 15. Okay, this is strong buying and strong price movement at the same time. So this is good. This is what a breakout typically looks like. So we're looking for continuation up to 15. Slight pullback already. And in moves like this, directional moves like this, I mean, in this environment, you know, we've seen sellers come in and pound it right back down. In moves like this, though, and they may, we don't know that. A lot of times, though, these kinds of moves, the sellers, they won't tangle with this. They will wait until a higher price to tangle with this. The momentum here is super strong on the buy side, so they just kind of stay away, and we look for the continuation to these higher levels of liquidity here. Okay, the sellers aren't really engaged right now. You know, they kind of step aside and wait. So this is how you get these beautiful bull flags, just like this unfolding right now. Okay, any questions on that? Like on like understanding a bull flag? God, there's a lot of questions in here, guys. Let me try to get through them. Yeah, a lot on this delay thing. Sorry about that. This is just the way it's going to have to be. But once you're, I mean, you're seeing the delay because some of you guys are you've got 1 foot in Discord and 1 foot in YouTube. It'll all be real time in YouTube, relatively. You know, you'll just be, it'll just be a delay for me to look for your responses. Still looking for higher. We might get a pullback to this liquidity here. Seeing some selling coming in, maybe some profit taking here. We could even bounce off of here 10 or so, but still looking good. Looking for our next level, which we said was around 18, but they're up here around 21. That's really where they are. All right, so again, let's take a step back. Let's look at our bigger picture. This is the momentum move that we saw. We have the gap up. We have the gap up 15-minute chart here, and we're looking for revisiting some of these areas up here. All right, so that's the bigger picture here, and we're just going to stick with it until we see something different. Let's just try to zoom into maybe the 15, or maybe even make this a 5-minute chart here, and then we'll look at just the day. I don't like that. That doesn't help us. All right, let's try maybe a 10-minute chart and a week look back. All right, not bad. Yeah, okay, so here's another area, kind of point of control, or just, you know, we're talking about value in the chart here. What's the value of this instrument? Well, you can see some of the action from yesterday, this consolidation up here. Or I'm sorry, 2 days ago. Consolidation up here. So there's going to be like a point of control in here, somewhere around 20, 21 or so. Okay, the wicks are up here. They're at the top of the range, 38, 37 to 42, somewhere around there. So we're looking for that test up to here. And we're aligning that with higher time frame liquidity. The liquidity's here. Makes sense. So we're looking for buyers to reach that area here and find the sellers up here. A very simple kind of auction understanding here. Where's the supply? It's up here. These are where the sellers are. And we're looking for these buyers to trade it up to those sellers. It's almost like Sesame Street, you know, but here it is playing out. You know, this is, you know, basically auction market theory here that we're talking about, and just a very, very simplified understanding. Twitch, I'm not sure, Rob. We're sticking with YouTube so far. We've never gotten into Twitch, but I don't know if it's in real time or not. Maybe someone can answer that one. I imagine it's probably delayed as well. We can try it. Not delayed, I think. Let me see if I can get to that. Hold on. All right, it might even do this on the fly here. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, hold on. No, it's not possible. So, okay, that's that. All right, guys, still sticking with the big plan here, the bigger picture, the momentum move here, just going with the order flow. Looks good for 20. Still looking for it here. We had another pullback, as you guys can see. This was the tricky action in here many times over. This was the primary scenario, though. And you can see, like, this is why it's tricky, because we're looking for timing it, jumping on the, getting a ticket to ride here on the train. And it just keeps on going back and forth and back and forth, and we're looking at the buyers up in these areas here looking for the follow through. Here it looks great. Also here I thought they had it, and even in some of these little areas here, it's like, well, are you guys going to go for it or not? And just looking for top of the range first, and then the breakout into 9 and 10 up here. You can see what, this is that kind of this happens again and again too, is to look for the kind of false breakdown here back to the range, and then the follow through. We were looking for that here. It's like almost, this was textbook, in fact. This is what it looks like. It just didn't follow through. Here's our range. Would have been better if we mentioned it, if these two were up just a little bit higher, a couple ticks higher. And then here's our move back to point of control, and we're looking for it to follow through to the upside, because it's already broken down here. And then what did it do? It broke all the way back down to where this move initiated and broke out from, retested there. Buyers came right back in. Typically, this is where you'll get the follow through. Typically, you'll have to do your studying on this, and this was tricky. But here, back to here, point of control, or most traded level in here, liquidity was already here, and we're getting buyers above it. Great. This should be the breakout here. It pulled back to test kind of this area now, and then finally it did, and then we're looking for it here as well. And this is where it got tricky, with all this kind of back and forth and noise in here. And then big buying, looking again for it, big selling coming right back in. It was a battle. It was a big battle in here. And then one more here, and then finally back up here. Point of control actually even, let's see what it was exactly. It was right around here, 40.01. It was above it. Buyers looking for the top of the range. Traded to 05. Buyers are up here looking for the follow through. Finally we got it. It's tricky. That was a really, it did it 3, 4, 5 times before it finally broke out. All right, so let me get caught up on YouTube here. Lots of questions in YouTube. Yeah, Pedro, it does. It looked fishy here. Some of these lower highs in here. This is why even a few ticks or two I have found. You'll have to kind of do your own research and due diligence in here. But I have found, even if it's a tick or two, not an equal high, if it's lower in here, this kind of stuff can happen. We keep it in mind. Look for these things. Put that into your plan, just a note, to build out your plan, that you want to see it at maybe slightly higher high up here, or equal. Okay, not lower, and not consecutively lower here. This one is a little bit lower than the first one. And we're still looking for this to go up higher here. Boy, it looks like I'm not getting any data here. No, I am. Okay. Looks like I was cut off for a little bit. Yeah, Captain Price. That was yeah, it was crazy randomness in there. Really a fight back and forth. Yeah, Pedro, I'm with you. Well, in my plan, it's worth going for some of these in here, to be honest. And the order flow looks pretty good. It should do it, or is what I find. And and then it just like they just slam on it. And what happens to me is like I take cuts throughout here. 2 3 times, like trying to grab this here. But stick with this. What read the order flow, and if the order flow shifts and changes in here, that's something else. Um, so you can consider it. But okay, we're having some inconsistencies here with the MBO data from Rhythmic. So I don't know if you guys are getting that too, but I just sent the error report. So anyway, like you got to like take a step back, reevaluate in here, and what is the order flow telling us in here? And we still stuck with the kind of primary scenario in here. These were quick dips and then move right back in. Quick dip, move right back in. So yeah, even this one here was actually a little more than a quick dip. This was like it made a lower low in here. It still did not come down here yet to 95, but this was one more push, didn't find enough sellers, and then we find the buyers take control up here. And it was the primary scenario going with our bigger picture. That was the thing here, the key. Go with the bigger picture here. Nice gap. We're looking for this to gap and continue. Revisit the gap maybe later, but we're looking for this momentum up into previous sellers from the other day. And that's a primary scenario here. All right, so anyway, just trying to get revisit some of these main points in here. Good morning, Leonard. How to read the liquidity on the offer. Okay, yeah, I'll go over that. This is about the covering about this context here, which is always a tricky thing for traders, like and to keep relying on context here. So here's an like Scott says, these areas are magnets. Okay, that's a really great simple concept to understand. Longer term high liquidity are magnets if buyers want it. Okay, so well, why wouldn't maybe some of these other areas on the offer be a magnet? Like maybe down here, maybe here, 4,000. So the now or longer term liquidity, down in some of these areas here. So the main point here is a lot of times you see it better in stocks. I think we have Twitter, so let's take a look here. This can be interesting day in Twitter. Why not up here, right? Well, why is it and how is it reacting to this liquidity here? This is the key. It's like, yeah, it's a magnet if buyers want it. Now in the bigger picture, typically the market understands this is where buyers are. 70,000 shares here, 58,000 shares down here at 35. So now, do sellers want it? Well, we're getting our answer here. No, not yet. Not yet at all. I mean, if they did, well, they traded into it here a bit, but that's been it. So, you know, are they are we finding some sellers going after this as a magnet? Not really, no, not right now. It's repelling the sellers. This is like now you might argue, yeah, this is true, but it's like it's high liquidity, but it's not longer term liquidity. Okay, they came in here just after or right around 9:30. So anyway, it's about the context. Is the answer here, or the simple answer is understanding the context of it. Do the sellers want to meet these buyers, the demand here of these buyers? And right now the answer is no. Okay, so we're looking to see if maybe there's buyers up here, top of the range at 41, and let's see if they go after this area here at 41.30, 50, and 42, because that's where the high liquidity is. If we find the aggressors here, the market buy orders, the green dots, going after it. And so far, I would go with that. That's what it looks like they want to do. The order flow is telling us that. So we're already trading into 41 right now. No one wants to take it to 41, actually. There it goes. There it goes. Now it's trading. Okay, now can it break out of 41? I don't know. I don't see enough buying pressure yet. And try to get up to the 41.30, you know, so a 30 cents move here. Okay, so Leonard, I hope that answers some of your questions about reading the order flow in the range. A great exercise to do for this and understand it is to what we can do in here is we can take the volume off. All right, and let's do that. We're going to take volume bars and volume dots off, so we can't cheat at all in here. And we're looking at what's the reaction of price action with liquidity. See how there's liquidity down here and looks like sellers are going for it. Okay, great. Then I'm looking for them to take it down here. We're finding the price movement go after the liquidity. So let's see them trade into these areas here. Okay, that's the context right now. This is acting like a magnet right now. Okay, now it did fill high liquidity here. Okay, now here, see how this is all disrupted now? See how this player came in, and now what's the reaction to this new context? We're finding it repel the sellers. Sellers doesn't look like they want to go for it. No, actually now they are trading into it. Okay, this liquidity here. Okay, so sellers, then you should be able to trade into it then. Let's see the transaction. There it is. It's starting to trade into it. You can see it. And there it goes. Okay. Now there's actually a flip of the order book as well. Okay. Now what was on the bid here is now on the offer at the same price level. That's an order book flip. It's not much of a flip, to be honest. It's not a really good example, but I mean, it's at the same price level. Visually, it's not a bad example. It's not very good example for understanding direction here is what I'm trying to get at. Potential direction here. Okay, so sellers are still going after it here. They tried to repel it here. They traded into it though. So there's still sellers in here. There they are, and trading into 10. Okay, and see if they go for the 9 or 875 here. Okay, so just reading the context here, are they interested in this? How does this affect the price action? Just price action. Okay, now note we're starting to see some buyers start to come in here. They're moving away from this area here. Okay, Jana, we're talking about imbalances as well right now. Okay, so the sellers are going for it, right? They're trading into this 875 here. What does the iceberg indicator mean? It means it's a hidden order. It's not in the order book. Okay, so there they go. They traded into it. And look at some of the action here on the offer coming down at lower levels here as well. Okay, now we're going to get some more information here. See how they just came in and they got really aggressive in here. It started to trade into this 07. See, look at the sell-off now, and see how the order book kind of flipped in here. See how they're coming on the offer at lower levels, and what's the context now? Is it repelling the buyers and instead finding sellers here? Yeah, so far that seems to be the scenario here. Okay, so now they've come down low enough to find some aggressors, and now they're starting to pull over here. All right, let's see if we'd be looking for green dots right around here to see if they can trade it back up to 07 and maybe 08 here, or 875. And maybe we get more demand on the bid here. And it's not the case. They're pulling actually here, and they're adding on the offer, and we're finding our sellers. So it's still going lower, still looking for this context to go lower. Okay, and trade maybe back down to the figure here. Lots of liquidity down here between 02 and 4,000. Yeah, there you go. There's a little more on 04. And yeah, so there we go, 02. Does this make sense to you guys? Is this really foreign to you? I really like to get some really good feedback from you on this one. We've done this for years now, this exercise, to try to understand if this, how this liquidity, what's the reaction to this liquidity? What, please give me your pleading for it, your feedback here. The one thing that I find that can be kind of tricky in here is when we add the volume. Now we have a context of three different things: price, action, volume, and liquidity. And adding that third element can really add a lot more complexity, but it's something we just have to train and get used to. See, right now with two elements, it's a lot easier. I feel that's the only thing that I can think of, because like right now, well, here's the reaction. What's this liquidity at 02 at a higher level here? At a higher level, it's not. This was the opposite of what we were looking at before. So do we find sellers trade into it? Yeah, we did. They just traded into it. Okay, now there's our event. What happened after the event? Well, we're above it. Okay, great. So we're looking for buyers to come up to 06.5 now. Look at the reaction to the bid. See the bidding up in here. So now we're getting kind of a shift in a flow, a reversal type of activity here. Okay, see how they're pulling now on the offer? They're adding on the bid here, and price seems to be repelled by the liquidity here on the bid. So we're looking for 10, back to 10. Okay, because that's where the magnet is, and they want it. There's your context. They're going after it. They want it, and we read it in here on the low time frame. On this, it's not much of a higher time frame, but on the higher time frame, this is acting like a magnet up here. This 10. Right now, Ramirez, we cannot see exhaustion or anything in here. Exhaustion is by the aggressor only. Okay, so we're just looking right now at the, we'll cover it in a minute here. Okay, MC Loco, there might be some sort of liquidity issue in, or, okay. Yeah, I did, George. I did have some sort of data issue you in here, with it in here. Really? I think it was a rhythmic issue. At least the error message said it wasn't MBO data, and I had a stop there. I was not receiving any data for a minute. We kind of found a way to overcome it. Really, really smart programming, to be able to kind of, otherwise this may have frozen up. It used to in the past, or used to have issues, or really weird delays. So we found kind of ways around it. So we kind of floated through that without any issues here. Not much. Monkey butt. Yeah, you'll have to jump over to YouTube channel. You can certainly add your comments or chats in here in Discord, but you can also do that over in YouTube. Okay, that's good to hear. I guess still get the same comments from, like, I'm so bad, or Rob, Allen, MC Loco, and Techie Girl, that it makes sense. You're understanding the auction in here based on the supply and demand and price action only. But this could change your life, basically, like starting to understand that auction process in here. See how they're coming in with high, look at, and we'll even kind of put more understanding into this. And you would do the same thing if you were a big trader. What would you do? You would test this market. What if I throw, if you have a ton of money, you can throw in some high orders in here and see, like, what does the market think of that? And then low volume pullbacks. Well, I don't have volume in here right now, Techie Girl. So what does the market think of this? And you would test it, and see, like, okay, well, maybe it will fill me on the bid down here. Do I want to get filled is the question. If maybe there's a kind of shift in market sentiment in some of these areas here right now, and you can see how that kind of led to spoofing, and all sorts of other kind of nefarious stuff. But anyway, it's still just getting a feel for the auction in here. What if I show more demand? What's the reaction? See how we got a shift in here, and the flip of the order book, they pulled here at 7 and added here at 6. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they want to go for 8, and let's see if they can. Let's see if they see them pull. Let's see them go for 10 then. 10 is the next one then. So these guys didn't really mean business in here. They kind of pulled their liquidity, right? We're finding buyers, so let's see the buyers now follow through. That's what we're looking for, and we want to see them trade up to 10. Okay, it's going to take a little bit here because they got to break out of this range here, so we need to see some buying coming in here, right? And so this is what happened. It kind of had to rotate back down, and now we're going to see, do we find buyers up here? And we're looking for the move would be to the magnet up here at 10. Okay, see the shift and change in the order book there as well. Okay, and we made it up to 950 or 975. Not quite 10 yet. All right, so anyway, guys, that I think it's a really great exercise. I hope it makes sense to you. Think about this, though. This, we're going to take liquidity off of here now, and we're going to shift the exercise. I just think it's such a there's our 10. Okay, so I just think it's such a valid exercise. Is we're going to take the heat map off. This is what we've been, and let's take the stops and icebergs off here for a moment as well. What we've been all looking at is some sort of derivative of this, usually with bars, okay, with some sort of bar data. Nice move here, back on up. Boy, doing these exercises and we're missing out some of the price action here. Yeah, all right, well, we tested back up here to where it kind of broke down from. So we really have to find some buyers in here. It's not bad, but I think we're going to get a pullback instead to back to this kind of 875 or so. All right, and then we can look at structure in here as well. Here, bottom of the structure, we're already testing it. So now the next move for buyers is to get back into the kind of value area of this range in here, and that's the point of control, and it's right here at 15. Okay, so now we need to see buyers trade up to 15, and that would be the target. And it would be, we're going to get more insight once we put the heat map on here. Is there liquidity there? Not really. No, there is. There's some. I zoom in here. There's some. Okay, so anyway, yeah, let's see if buyers can reach for this area here at 15. All right, now bigger picture, this is also boding well now. If we can zoom through 15 and just see buyers continue in here, and then come right up to our original area or magnet up here at 21 or 20. Okay, after we've done this deep pullback, looking for follow through up to high liquidity up here. Okay, and this looks like the buyers have enough pressure here. We're at 15 right now. Let's see if they can push it on through. Okay, after this breakdown here, we see this just again and again, the same pattern. Our under over is right here. Okay, usually it's here, but instead it's here. You see the high liquidity, the event, the push, and then here's the buyers back up above this kind of 08 area here. The 08, 09 area was, you can see this is kind of an important event previously when we started the webinar. That's where we were targeting, and all that kind of tricky behavior in here. And then now it's still the kind of area here where it broke down from, and then it's breaking out from as well. So anyway, I want to go through the second exercise here, and we'll just look at, and to make a comparison here, this is the view most of us have been looking at, is some sort of volume and price action. Just that. We never had liquidity before on the chart. We'd always have it separated in the dome. Okay, well now, you know, with Bookmap and the heat map, we've had it for years now, where you can see it historically. It gives so much insight. So the what is the context of these two elements tell us? Okay, this is like reading your market delta charts, your footprint charts. There's even more data in here, a lot more data than your market delta charts, because you're looking at bar data on your market delta. Okay, so let's go to a 1 minute here. And you're looking at very specifically where that volume is transacting, but on the bar of aggregated data. What happened in here, like this little move up, this move back down, this move back up, you don't see that in your market delta charts, because you'll just see a bar. Jana, does liquidity mean the area where stop losses will be triggered? No, not necessarily at all. Stop losses is a totally different thing. Yeah, exactly, Full Monty. It just means it's very, very simple. Liquidity is just limit buy and limit sell orders. That's it. Okay, it's just showing the liquidity where they want to buy and sell. It's the auction. And that's why Bookmap works so well with auction market theory. It just dovetails so nicely with market and volume profile. Okay, because it's auction theory. And how better to go over auction market theory by showing the auction, right? Sounds kind of simple, but anyway. So let's just read the context of these two now without the heat map, right? Where's the volume trading? Within the context of a range. Okay, well, let's see here. All right, well, in this little range in here, we see the breakdown. Sellers took control here. All right, now buyers, nice buying coming back up to the top here. All right, I'd be looking for them to trade it back up to about here, where it broke from here. And buying looks good. Just looking for follow through for them to break the range here, break outside of the range, because there's volume trading up here. So we'd be looking for it to trade up to here. We're just looking at volume though right now, volume and price range or price action. Okay, so just looking for it to trade up to here, and there it is. Okay, 1450. If they can continue, then we'd be looking for next areas up here. Now see how we don't have any insight in here at all with liquidity. We can see in the dome there's some here, but we don't see it on the heat map. There is no heat map right now, so you don't know where they're trading into or how much, and did it absorb. There's the transaction, right? Now you might think, like, you know, if you're just looking at volume, oh great, they're breaking out. Well, that's not the case. Why it just stopped this in its tracks is because of this area, and they're still there at 1475. Look at the dome. Okay, let's turn the heat map back on, because we're missing a really important element here. There's the transaction, and here's what happened after that event. It couldn't get through there. It was totally absorbed at this level at 15, totally absorbed. That means that buyers can't trade through these limit orders. The limit sell orders here absorb the buying pressure, and what happened? We sold off immediately back down here. You wouldn't know that if you don't have access to the heat map. Okay, now look at the buyers. Are going to remount an attack here back to this 1475, and you can see in the dome here, now they came in at 14 with high liquidity too. They just came in. And let's look at the context. See how they were here, and then they added more here at 14. And see the context? Well, we didn't find buyers. We found sellers. And then, yeah, I was just about to say, then if that's the case, then sellers should be able to reach down here to 10, liquidity down here at 10. And they just did. All right, so anyway, I think made the point here. Understanding these three elements is really where the magic comes in. Okay, no matter what you're trading. Okay, we can look at candlestick. You know, I like candlesticks. So where would they trade? Let's just dim the heat map a little bit. Where would they trade? There's a big bar here. Yeah, I'd be looking for them to trade on the candlesticks back down to here, 05. You know, back down to these wicks down here. So then let's look. Volume wise looks pretty good. Heat map wise, well, here's high liquidity on the offer. Okay, now a little bit just coming in on the bid now, and they pulled here on the offer. So the candle only got down to here. It still may come down, but yeah, I don't know about that. By looking at the context here of the volume and the heat map right now, it actually looks like it wants to come right back up into 11, and then maybe even 14 or 13.5 up here. See how they pulled the liquidity, and they're adding on the bid. Okay, so then candlestick wise, let's see them get back up above this swing here on some buying. Looks good. All right, so let's see them move it on up, back up to this swing here around 1350. There it is. Okay, now we're up in here in this previous wick up here. Okay, this is where we saw that it looked like a beautiful breakout, and we know what happened. It was right into high liquidity. Then there's high liquidity here on the offer, and price sold off. Okay, so we found some sellers, a little bit of a wick. How does this work with Forex? It doesn't, Daniel. Unfortunately, Forex is not very transparent in terms of market. It's over the counter, is via brokers that may or may not be taking the other side of your trade, and then also with over the counter with bigger banks. CME is extremely centralized, or futures typically are. Stocks are kind of are very centralized, well, but less so. I mean, there's many different ECNs providing liquidity. There's over-the-counter trades also in stocks. So when you get your dark pool transactions, they take place outside the exchange, and you might get like a million trade like in Twitter or something, like way up here out of the blue. Okay, Jang. So lessons are clear. Good. I mean, once I think some of these concepts in here apply to your trading. So this will enhance and optimize the trading tremendously. I mean, that's the idea here, because we see we have a lot more market transparency now. Okay, by understanding these three elements in here. So if is it likely that your candlestick is going to fail or break out or not? Okay, so I'm looking again, like, okay, so candle coming up here, great, nice big green candle, great, looking for buyers then up here, and then looking for the breakout into our 15 level, and then maybe back up into here, 16, 17. Okay, back up into these previous wicks up here, where we know a wick means like, this is rejection. Okay, so finding a little bit, we got back up here, top of the range, and it's kind of struggling, but let's see, do we get a little more buying in here? If we get buyers up here at 14, it looks really good for it to continue. There they are. All right, let's see it continue now. Now, look, they got to get through these guys here on the offer. And there's a battle right in front of us here. I want to see these guys pull, or at least find enough buyers to trade into and through them. And I'm not seeing the buying pressure yet. So there's our heat map acting as pretty strong resistance there. Here they go, mounting another attack. The attack looks good. Okay, so buyers ought to take these guys on. There they go. Now let's see them trade into and through it. Looks pretty good. And then for our candlesticks, we're just looking for, top of the ranges here. First range, we're just about there. The second range is up here at 17. Yeah, around 17. Okay, now we can take a look at the bigger picture too, because this is a 1 minute candlestick chart. Bigger picture is back up into 2021. And that's what we'd be looking for. No, the dark pool data will show up if you have MBBO data. Bilgin. So the MBBO shows all transactions as well as all of the best bid and offer, but only best bid and offer. All right, so anyway, we're talking about reading order flow in here, but we want to go deeper into this. talk about also, potential trading strategies or trading management in here. Let me get to some of these other questions in here. MC Logo, this is great. It's great to hear that these webinars have been really helpful. This is exactly our goal. Is we have the educational course and then the follow-up with these webinars, and then you can. This will like just free you to be able to do anything. If you want to, you just pick and choose what you want to trade. Basically, do you want to trade volume profile? Well, then you look into it and put what you've learned in here into that. Plug it in, and it should enhance your volume profile tremendously. Okay, looking for the breakout here. Volume up there looks good. We even have a wick there. There's buying pressure, rejection here, just by candlesticks. Okay, so just looking to see if we can get we got up here at 15, and we see good volume here, and now it's a bit of a kind of a stalemate here. But yeah, I'm still looking for them to break out up into our higher time frame. Here is 20, 21. Is the quick reaction to new liquidity a result of algos? Yeah, a lot of it is algorithmic. It doesn't matter. Like you just you can still read the reaction to it. It's still the same. The algos are just maybe just reacting a little much quicker, but it's the same thing. It's just auction market theory basically. Okay, George, so your rhythmic data, you sent an error report, your IRT is working fine. Okay, but your bookmap is not. I mean, you saw me have that error, and it's been working perfectly. Yeah, I'm using Rob. I'm using Global Plus, Rhythmic, and MBO bundle. Correct. Yeah, exactly. MC Loco. You can kind of read the emotions in here. When we, and that was most of them were crypto exchanges where they had some issues. Okay, George, you're back up and running, no problem. My audio is even choppy. Okay. All right. So I guess this is a local issue for me. It's not the data providers. Okay. Alec. All right, guys, looking for that breakout, even looking better here. We're back up again. We had to rotate again. This is typical like kind of S&P activity here. Rotate, try, rotate, try, rotate, try. Even this rotation, my God, it's even failing. I'm surprised. Like this looked really good, just like previously when we started the webinar. And buyers are. This is just turning into a big battle here. And we're getting close to the European close, so that makes sense. That we're going to have this kind of battle back and forth here. It's not going to be easy trading here, I don't think. Still, bigger picture, I'm still looking for our 21 level up here. Okay, it might have been, I might have cut out I might have leaned back on the mute button here, so it might have been me. Guys, tricky order flow at this top edge here. Yeah. I'm still looking to, I want to see it trade 21 though. That's really the bigger target here. 21, after 21, I'm not so sure if it's going to make it up into the wicks here. We'll just have to see if the buyers are still engaged. We can look at our 10-minute chart here, and you can see it's kind of slowed down a bit, but still order flow, on these two charts here still look pretty good. Even on the daily here, it still looks pretty good for it trading up higher, especially after yesterday's action. Look at the big rejection and wick down here, below what, 3,900, 3850 basically, and then now the rejection and back up to above 4,000. Yeah, there's just going to be some volatility in some of these areas. There's a lot of emotions going on, and this is as you can see, this is everything is kind of changed right here. I mean, you can, yeah, maybe even say like even here, but like this is where I kind of noticed it, and now there's buyers, there's sellers, there's buyers, there's sellers. So here are the sellers, right, trading back down. Let's see if they can trade back down the bottom of the range here. These wicks down here almost got there already. And yeah, love to see them get down a little bit further here. Oh yeah, this can Sam, this can apply to anything. Okay, it's all really just different. Yeah, there's different players, there's different instruments, they're traded differently, but yeah, it's all the same. It is, they're gonna look different. Let's for example, let's make the point. Okay, we haven't looked at NASDAQ in forever, and it's just a lot more volatile. Look at the liquidity in here. We're looking at tens, right? So this can trade down too very quickly into some of these levels down here. So it's a little more, it's going to be more skittish, and it doesn't take as much to move the market quickly. Or we can jump over to like Twitter. So we were talking about 41 as being the magnet. It sold off. Now look at it, it traded through it and traded up to these magnets up in here. It never, see how this did not work like a magnet? See how this repelled it? So this is the context here to understand. Just really, it's such an important understanding to define these things. It's about understanding, the context of them and what they mean to the market. It's not a superlative. Oh, it always acts like a magnet. Typically it does. Longer term high liquidity typically does. So yeah, I mean, this is not really longer term liquidity. It is kind of for today, but like the longer term liquidity stays in there for days, hours. I mean, several hours, several sessions maybe, etc. So yeah, okay, if that's how you want to define it, then you would say this isn't really, it's high liquidity and it's been in here longer term for today, but it wasn't in here since the open. Okay, these guys are up here at 45. They're longer term liquidity. They came in here at around 845 and they're still up here, but they pulled a lot here right at the cash open as well. Well, they're still up here. 36,000 shares up here, right? What was it before? Let's see. It was 64,000, right? Now it's, they took about half of it off. So anyway, so maybe that's going to be the magnet. 40, 42, 43, 45. I don't see any at 44. Oh yeah, I'm so bad. Like about the more Data the better for stocks. So both NASDAQ and EDGX would be the way to go. And MBBO, that would be the way to go. I know the data gets expensive, but that's the best way to go. You could always jump over to Thinkorswim as well. Okay, because the data is free over there, so you don't have to pay for data, but then you won't be able to get like sweeps, absorb. The drawback is you won't be able to get all the kind of like add-ons that you can here with the Bookmap desktop version. Doesn't look like, since I had that issue, this is kind of a weird one. Razor, I cannot add another symbol right now. After I had that kind of crash or issue there. So it's kind of weird. So I cannot look at Tesla unless I have it up here, and I think I closed it. Yeah. Okay, YouTube has had some issues as well. So we don't know who's got issues here. It might be me, it might be Rhythmic, it might be Bookmap, it might be YouTube. Funny. All right. The stream's been good for you, Matt. Okay. Just curious. Let's take a jump over and take a look at GME. Okay, above 100 here. It's really the under over here. 97 in the breakout up into 105. Back down to 100. Now it's below 100. Thanks, Monica. No, I appreciate it. All right, well, we went over some of the candlestick trading in the S&P. We can continue on with some of that. A lot of people trade candles. We can look at indicators as well, candles and indicators. We can look at patterns. We can look at volume profiles. Your volume profile here is looking like, well, it's at the point of control right now. There is a little bit of a skew here. That it's kind of a weak top, meaning that it is likely to break, because you can see it kind of explored down here and came back up into here. So we're looking for a lot of volume up here to trade on the buy side, and for it to kind of equal out and turn this into like a single distribution and trade up into our 20 level. So that's what we're looking for, even in our volume profile. In our candlestick chart, we're looking at the same thing. Here we go. Let's see if they can do it. All right, so here's another rotation back up. Your pattern looks good here too. Here's your kind of lows, rejection back up into here. It looks like a kind of a wedge pattern here. Our candlestick pattern looks good. Our volume profile looks good. How's our heat map look? Yeah, they pulled here. Our volume is looking good. We're looking for the breakout. Okay, and we're looking for this to get skewed and up into and explore up into our 21 level. So there's 3-4 different ways of trading and adding order flow into it to look for the move to unfold. Pulled all the way back. Okay, see how it didn't really fill this profile in? It's not very equal. So looking for buyers to try to fill this kind of area in here. Okay, it broke out and it's holding it so far. It's still above where it broke out from here at around 15. That might be it. I mean, maybe we don't get up to our 21 level. Not enough buyers. So anyway, we just covered like you know, 3 or 4 different ways of trading that are pretty popular. Okay, volume profile, patterns, candlesticks, and oh God, what was the third or fourth? Anyway, let's see what I'm going to put a quick poll in here. In YouTube. Oh yeah, indicators. All right, so let's see if you guys can select something in there. How do you trade? We'll put a poll in there. Guys, look at this beautiful move. So it pulled back and now we're getting our move. This was, you know, our primary scenario here up into 21 based on much higher time frame. Okay, looking at our revisit here. Okay, after all of this, you know, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and you know, skew with the order book, and it was good that we went through all those lessons during that time. It was not it was well utilized time, I think. So you know, I like the hourly chart, I think, best so far. 15-minute is not bad here as well, because this is where the wicks are up here, so 34 on up to about 43. But you know, there's going to be, I mean, you guys tell me, volume profile guys, this is probably the high volume node up here for the, you know, this cluster of volume here, or this cluster of volume in here. It's likely right around where we are, you know, trading into it right now. So if that is the case, you know, then that might be your target. There's also another, and that's fine. That's fine. It makes perfect sense. Maybe there's not enough buyers in here to test these higher levels in here. Now, that said, maybe you take some off and maybe you're still looking for it to squeeze higher here, because look at the momentum. Look at this huge gap, and we've had, three, candles here on the hour chart. They're all green so far, and they're pretty strong here too. So we're looking for continuation here, right? This is kind of the train here to slow down that momentum. Maybe it has to trade up into here. Now what we want to understand though is the order flow. What does the order flow tell us to give us kind of insight to this push or this not have this push? All right, let's take a look at our poll. Okay, John, so you understand the breakout? Yeah. Chetan, does the order flow move toward whatever the larger number of buyers or sellers are? Well, it depends. It depends on the context. I don't know when you came in, but you can go back and revisit maybe if you want to watch a recording. But it really depends on the context of the appetite for trading up into these areas here. Like we covered here. Well, here it's acting like a magnet. Over here in Twitter, it's certainly not acting like a magnet, right? This is acting like a magnet up here, our 42 level. Okay, so there you go. Okay, Jana, you trade price action. I don't really know what that means. But I guess some of the momentum in here, like, if it's pretty strong, you're looking for a continuation. If it's consolidation, supply and demand. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, price action to me is this is what it is. Here's your price action. So the way just best bid and offer streaming here, here's price action. Look, buyers, consolidation, buyers, they're moving it. I'm not really sure what I hear it all the time, price action, but I'm not really sure. Like, for me, it really is. It's an auction, and understanding these contexts between buyers and sellers in the auction is the best insight, in my opinion. And you can kind of read it within this context here. So we were just looking for this move to 21. We got it. It traded. They transacted. They got what they wanted. They're sellers up here. We've now seen after this big event in here, we traded through it a little bit, not much, like 2 or 3 ticks, maybe 4. Yeah, 3. And then it sold off immediately back down to point of control, okay, or where it broke out from here at our 15 level, right? Now let's just zoom out and let's take a look. We were looking at this profile traders. We're looking for this to kind of smooth out, right? Well, it kind of did. In fact, it made like a node over here, and it's due to this action in here, these transactions in here. If you have buyers and sellers on both sides, then we kind of look at like where there might be skews in buy, like let's say Chetan in a consolidation range. Where's the skew? Like this in here is there's a skew. There was a skew to the upside in here because of the kind of top heaviness of this range in here. Here's our bigger range. All right, this is a good example actually. Here's our bigger range. Well, where's the majority of it trading? Here it is in our profile. No question about it. Okay, majority is trading up in here. Right? So we're looking for it to kind of do something like that. And then smooth out this profile in here. Okay, so it's again the context. Okay, well, are they buying up here? Are they, being able to, like, retest these areas here and find buyers up in here? That would be one element to take a look at. The other element is what we covered with the heat map, understanding the supply and demand. In the heat map, there was there was some supply in here every now and then. We'd have to zoom in to get more kind of insight on that. You see how they're pulling in here, and they kind of stayed in here. And I don't see too much. If we zoom in, we'll get a different look here. But there's not a whole lot here on the bid that kind of pushed it up until maybe we got up into here. And then they're kind of underneath here. We didn't get too much out of the heat map on that example. Sometimes it's just clear as day. And it's not so much about the volume, it's about the heat map. Most of the time it's both, kind of a context of both. So you can see how it's kind of filling in this this little area in here right now for your volume profile, guys. Right? It makes sense. It kind of auctioned through there pretty quickly and didn't really kind of auction in here. Kind of test it and see what traders think of it in here. All right, so we have our winner on the profile. Volume profile is the winner. Let's see. Indicators 15%. All right, patterns 30%. Oh, I put patterns in here twice. Sorry. I meant candlesticks. I don't think I can edit it. All right, we'll use the second patterns as candlesticks. There's 31% in there right now. I screwed it up. Sorry, guys. So anyway, volume profile is the clear winner, though. So we can end the poll. I think you guys see the results, no? Yeah, there you go. It's showing. Yeah, only 42 you guys voted. All right. Well, anyway, we kind of covered all four on this breakout here. And that's really, I mean, again, what we were looking at is order flow first and then covering each one. Okay, candlesticks look good. They're looking like it wants to break out. Pattern, well, here it is, as this kind of a ascending wedge type of pattern. And then volume profile, weak top, and indicator in here. Indicator is interesting. This gave us a bad signal. Well, unless you look at negative divergence in your CVD, this made a kind of a higher low in here, but a lower low in CVD, and then that could indicate trap volume potentially, and then stop runs to the upside. I don't know if that's what you trade, but there's more selling in here, and they were not able to take it lower. So these sellers in here got upended, and that's why we see the stop run here with the red line here in these areas. All right. So let's see here, guys. Now I was talking with Tom B yesterday. I wanted to do a test, so we're doing that right now. I wanted Tom to start at 11:30 a.m. And he is streaming now. If you go to our YouTube channel, okay, you see us both streaming there. You can access both, or either or, right? So this is a test to see if this works for you. Because I wanted to dedicate a time directly for Tom instead of saying, well, after the advanced webinar finishes. So we can see you can start at 11:30. Okay. So, yep, seems to be working. Oh, the poll was Rob was in YouTube. Okay, great. All right, so it works. We can have concurrent YouTube streams. Great. All right, though this will free us up. We'll have all guys. I mean, we're going to have more and more events in here moving forward. It should be just a great environment for you guys. Trader networks, different streamers, covering many different things, and my job is to cover order flow in general and provide a very sound, solid order flow foundation for you, and talk about auction market theory and understand how these markets work. And once you understand that, you can choose whatever, or you can go back and revisit whatever trading method you use, and it should help you quite a bit, and that's our goal. Okay. Okay, it doesn't sound like is there any sound? Are you guys getting sound on Tom's YouTube stream? Can you guys verify that for me? Maybe you yeah, please, this is be very insightful to hear. Maybe I have to end. No sound, but usually. Okay, Tom, please say something. All right, so I just hopefully Tom heard me. It sounds good. Okay. 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 All right. I don't know, Tom, if you're in here watching this stream, but if you are, and I just pinged you as well. Still no audio on Tom. Okay. This is weird. right, so we don't know if Tom is speaking or not, and that's because a lot of times he just kind of starts and then he'll jump in. All right. Well, anyway, like we know it works. At least video is working. The visual part, we'll have to retest it. I think maybe next week again. And see if it works. Guys, good session. Saw a lot of different things in here. I think we went through in higher time frame, lower time frame, reading the order flow at these levels in here, looking for the higher time frame, more likely or more probable due to the order flow event to unfold, and that unfolded pretty nicely. And then we had these different exercises in here about how to read the order flow and read the order book, and then read the volume, and then read also just pure price action or streaming best bid and offer, and then went through a few different ways of trading, and covered it in real time, so that you can learn to apply the various methods for trading and reading order flow together. So we'll end here. Thanks for coming, everybody, and jump over to Tom B. Now he's going to go over his very specific way of trading and his volume profile. Okay, so and that's what most of you guys are looking at anyway. So should be really good. Continue on there, and we will catch up with you guys next week then. All right, so yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.